Hare Krishna, can you hear me now? Hare Krishna.
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. So I think we were reciting in mute. All right, let me say it again.
Dhritarashtra Vacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samavetaयुत्सवः Mamakaः Pandavaश्चैव किमकुर्वत Sanjaya.
Sanjaya uvacha drishtva tu pandavanikam vyudham duryodhanastada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravit. Manu Prabhu, would you like to read?
Yes. Pasyetam pandu putranam achaya mahatim chamum yotam drupada trena tavasisyena timata.
Nagendra Prabhu, would you like to read the next one?
Yeah, yes, Prabhu.
Go ahead.
Atra Sura Mahesh. Oh, one minute, Prabhu. Just can you read one time, Prabhu?
You want me to read it once?
Yes, Prabhu.
Atra Shura Maheshwasa Bhimarjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharatha.
Atra Sura Maheshwasa Bhimarjuna Samayudhi Yudhano Viratascha. Prabhu?
Yes.
Is that right?
That is correct.
Drupadascha Maharataha.
Very good. Niklesh Prabhu?
Sure, Prabhu. Drushtaketushchekitanah Kashirajascha Viryavan Purujit Kunti Bojascha Saipyascha Narapungavaha.
Kavita Mataji, are you in a position to read? All right, no problem.
Yudhamanyuscha Vikranta Uttamaujaschcha Viryavan Saubhadro Draupadeyascha Sarva Eva Maharataha.
Asmakam to Vishishtaye Tan Nibodha Dvijottama Nayaka Mama Sainyasya Samnyartham Tan Bravimite. Manu Prabhu.
Bhavan Brismascha Karnascha Kripascha Simiti Jayaha Asvatama Vikarnascha Sumatatis Tevacha.
Lata Mataji.
Prabhu.
Anyecha Baha.
Yeah, I'm reading. Yes, I'm reading that. Anyecha Bahava Shura Madarti Tekta Jivitaha Nana Shastra Praharanaha Sarve Yuddha Visharadaha.
Niklesh Prabhu.
Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam paryaptam tva idam etesham balam bhimabhirakshitam.
Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yata bhagam avastitaha Bhishmam eva bhirakshantu bhavantas sarva eva hi.
Tasya Sanjanayan Harsham Kuru Vridhaha Pitamaha Simhanadam Vinadyochaihi Shankham Dadmau Pratapavan. Manu Prabhu.
Tata Sankascha Piryascha Pandava Naka Komukaha Sahasevaya Hanyata Sabtas Tumulu Babat Abavat.
Yeah. Lata Mataji.
Tata Svitair Hairuyukti Mahati Stendane Stitau माधवाः पाण्डवश्चैव दिव्यैशङ्को प्रदद्मुतुः.
Yeah, very good. All right, now we will recite the 15th verse. Oh, Hare Krishna Damini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Oh, it's wonderful to see you, Mataji. You are in India, right?
Yes, I just woke up. I missed my
Very good.
Mangala, so I thought I'd join this call.
Oh, that's very good, Mataji. It is. It says, our Shastra says that when you wake up, you have to read the book of gambling. In the afternoon, you have to read the book of womanizer, or this thing, and in the evening you should read the book of thieves. So and then it says like it's everything against our principles. So then the acharyas explain that it's a book of gambling is nothing but Mahabharata.
I see. Okay.
The gambling it started. Then in the afternoon also, at night is basically the Bhagavatam, and in the afternoon they say it's Ramayana, because Rama, how Sita Devi was abducted. It is a story of a kidnapper.
Got you.
Like that. So it's very good. You're starting your day. All right. So we'll recite this. Panchajanyam Hrishikesho.
पाञ्चजन्यं ऋषिकेशो
Panchajanyam Hirishikeshu.
Hrishikesho.
Hrishikeshu.
पाञ्चजन्यं ऋषिकेशो
Lata Mataji.
पाञ्चजन्यं ऋषिकेशो
English bro.
पाञ्चजन्यं ऋषिकेशो
Devadattam Dhananjayah.
देवदत्तं धनञ्जयः
Devatattam Dhananjayah.
देवदत्तं धनञ्जयः देवदत्तं धनञ्जयः
Niklesh bro.
देवदत्तं धनञ्जयः
Poundram Dadmau Mahashankham.
पौण्ड्रं दद्मौ महाशङ्खम्
Pundram Tantau Mahasankham.
पौण्ड्रं दद्मौ महाशङ्खम् पौण्ड्रं दद्मौ महाशङ्खम्
पौण्ड्रं दद्मौ महाशङ्कम्
Bhimakarmavrukodarah.
भीमकर्मावृकोदरः
Bhimakarma Vikrotaraha.
भीमकर्मा विकोदरः भीमकर्मा sorry yeah you can
go ahead,
go
Mataji.
Prabhu.
No, go ahead, I'll go last.
भीमकर्मा रुकोदरः
भीमकर्मा वृकोदरः
Yeah. Now we'll recite the entire shloka. Panchajanyam Hrishikesho Devadattam Dhananjayah Poundram Dadmau Mahashankham Bhimakarma Vrukodarah.
पाञ्चजन्यं ऋषिकेशो देवदत्तं धनञ्जयः पौण्ड्रं दद्मौ महाशङ्खं भीमकर्मावृकोदरः
Panchajanyam Hirishikeshu Devatattam Dhananjayah Pandram Tanma Mahasankhya Sankham Bhimakarma Vikrodaraha.
पांचजन्यं ऋषिकेशो देवदत्तं धनञ्जयः पौण्ड्रं दद्मौ महाशङ्खं भीमकर्माविकोदरः
पाञ्चजन्यं ऋषिकेशो देवदत्तं धनञ्जयः पौण्ड्रं दद्मौ महाशङ्खं भीमकर्मारुकोदरः
पाञ्चजन्यं ऋषिकेशो देवदत्तं धनञ्जयः पौण्ड्रं दद्मौ महाशङ्कं भीमकर्मावृकोदरः.
Okay, very nice. Now we'll read the translation. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his. Oh, 1 minute. Directly to into. I have to read the synonyms.
Panchajanyam, the conch shell named Panchajanya. Rishikesha, Krishna, the Lord who directs the senses of the devotees. Devadattam, the conch shell named Devadatta. Dhananjaya, Arjuna, the winner of wealth. Poundram, the conch named Poundram. Dadmau, blue. Mahashankham, the terrific conch shell. Bhima Karma, one who performs Herculean tasks. Vrukodaraha, the voracious eater, Bhima.
Okay, Manu Prabhu, you can read the translation.
Translation by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his conch shell called the Devadatta. Bhima, the ferocious eater and performer of Herculean task, blew his terrific conch shell called Pundra. Parundra.
Okay. Damini Mataji, will you be able to read the purport?
Yes, Prabhu. Lord Krishna is referred as Rishikesha in this verse because he is the owner of all senses. The living entities are part and parcel of him, and therefore the senses of the living entities are also part and parcel of his senses. The impersonalist cannot account for the sense of the living entities, and therefore they are always anxious to describe all living entities as senseless or impersonal. The Lord, situated in the heart of all living entities, directs their senses, but he directs in terms of the surrender of the living entity. And in the case of pure devotee, he directly controls the, Prabhu, can you scroll? Controls the senses. Here on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Lord directly controls the transcendental senses of Arjuna, and thus his particular name of Rishikesha. The Lord has different names according to his different activities. For example, his name is Madhusudana because he killed the demon of the name Madhu. His name is Govinda because he gives pleasure to the cows and to the senses. His name is Vasudeva because he appeared as the son of Vasudeva. His name is Devaki Nandan because he accepted Devaki as his mother. His name is Yashoda Nandan because he awarded his childhood pastimes to Yashoda at Vrindavan. His name is Parth Sarthi because he worked as a charioteer of his friend Arjuna. Similarly, his name is Rishikesha because he gave direction to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna is referred as Dhananjaya in this verse because he helped his elder brother in fetching wealth when it was required by the king to make expenditures for different sacrifices. Similarly, Bhima is known as Vrikodara because he could eat as ferociously as he could perform Herculean tasks such as killing the demon Hidimba. So this particular type of conch shell blown by by the different personalities on the side of Pandavas, beginning with the lords, were all very encouraging to the fighting soldiers. On the other side, there were no such credits, nor the presence of Lord Krishna, the supreme director, nor that of the goddess of fortune. So they were predestined to lose the battle. And that was the message announced by the sound of the conch shell.
Yeah. See, they were predestined to lose the battle already. Why? First of all, there was no presence of Krishna, the supreme director. Because Krishna is not there, obviously the goddess of fortune is not there, and Arjuna is not there, and all the Pandavas, you see, their conch shells at what? Divyau Shankau Pradhatmatuhu. So in the previous verse, what is this? Yeah, see? Divyau Shankau Pradhatmatuhu. This is the 14th verse, last line. Means now the Pandavas and Madhava and Pandava, they blow the conch shell. And that conch shell is mentioned as Divyau Shankau, transcendental conch shell. So there are no credits now like this, the credits like this on the Kauravas side. Okay. So here, basically, very importantly, they have mentioned the names of conch shells which are blown by each of the personalities. So Krishna. So this is a quiz question, okay? You have to remember this. So Krishna's conch shell is Panchajanyam, okay? Dhananjaya's, Arjuna's conch shell is Devadattam. So then what is Bhima's conch shell name?
Vikodara?
No.
No, okay.
Parundram?
Exactly, Poundram. Poundram is Bhima's conch shell. Okay. So all of these Shankhas are called Mahashankham. Mahashankham, if you see, the terrific conch shell, great conch shells they are. Okay. And so now what is the name of Krishna in this verse which is given? How Krishna is being addressed here in this verse?
Rishikesha.
Exactly. Rishikesha. Arjuna?
Dhananjaya.
Very good. Bhima?
Prakasur.
Vrukodaraha.
Vrukodaraha. Exactly. Vrukodaraha. You see, these are the different names. Now, if you see the synonyms, Prabhupada has divided this word. Krishika Ishaha. Ishaha means controller. Krishika means senses. So, Krishika Isha, the controller of all the senses. Now, then one might ask the question, then if the Supreme Lord is a controller of everybody's senses, then the person who is stealing, the person who is doing all the wrong things, even his senses are controlled by the Lord. Then that means is the Lord making him do all the wrong things? If he is the controller of all the senses, right? No, here again, no, Prabhupada clearly explains this. What is it? See, the Lord is situated in the hearts of all living entities, directs their senses. But he directs in terms of the surrender of the living entity. In case of a pure devotee, he directly controls the senses. Very important word. So now Arjuna is a pure devotee. So Krishna is directly controlling Arjuna's senses. So if Krishna desires, Arjuna can be put into bewilderment. And that is what is happening. Because Krishna wants to give this Bhagavad Gita. He says this, why he is again giving this knowledge is because the previous disciplic succession, that parampara was broken. Because it is broken, again, Krishna is re-establishing those fundamentals. So he is giving this Bhagavad Gita knowledge again. So for that, he is making Arjuna as an instrument. So that means in case of anybody who's not surrendered, how does Krishna direct them? He directs them in terms of their surrender. How much the living entity is surrendering, that much he directs. Okay, so now let's go back to like what Prabhupada has mentioned on this verse. So Bhimasena, he is advertised as what? What is he advertised as in this verse? How is he mentioned?
Vrikotara.
Vrikodaraha.
Vikram.
Correct. That means voracious
Huh.
eater. Why? Because he can perform Bhima Karma. And what is Bhima Karma? Herculean tasks, huge tasks. You know, you just like an elephant, it eats voraciously, but it gives service also that much. So in the past, right, during in olden times, all the Herculean tasks are done by elephants. Elephants are employed in all those activities. Suppose they have to construct a fort, a palace, or a big, huge temple, then the huge stones that have to be transported from one place to the other, it is taken care by elephants. When Rath Yatra happens, you know, like now it's all banned. I'm not sure how many Rath Yatras have elephants, but in South India, all the elephants are being replaced with bulldozers. So behind every wheel of the Ratha, there will be huge bulldozers. I'll show you that. Let me see. Okay, I got the Ratha picture, but I didn't get the bulldozers or the. All right, I can just show you how huge the Rathas will be. The Rathas will be huge. I'm not getting the. Okay, got it. Yeah. This is one of the Ratha, very famous Ratha in Srivilliputturu, in the southern India. So like this, we have in Jagannath Puri, recently one Ratha had happened, Rath Yatra had happened. So now you see the Ratha of this, the height of this Ratha is, you can see in the comparison, it is like a 6-story or 10-story building. That tall it is. And you can compare the humans here, and then there are humans, inside the Ratha. The pujaris are standing here. So you see the floors here. So the first 2 floors will be only till here, and then, oh, okay. Interestingly, in this photo, this house is basically one of my friend's father-in-law's house. This is like a 300 years old house. Okay. Anyways, so why I'm bringing this topic is, behind this, if you see, there is a small, what do you call, a bulldozer, which pushes the wheel whenever the wheel has to be turned, because it goes in a square around the temple. So this bulldozer is used to push, because The people are not sufficient enough nowadays. People don't have that strength as it used to be in the previous decades. So they're not able to pull with all the effort. So they have the bulldozers. So earlier they used to employ elephants to pull and to push. So similarly, if we simply eat voraciously and if we cannot give any service, that is not good. We must eat sumptuously and give service also. So in Bengali, Prabhupada says this, Pete keli pithe soya. If one is given sufficient food in the belly, then he can carry more burden on the back. Pithe, pitha, pit, we say, pit means on the back. He can carry more burden. So here it says Bhima Karma. That means his activities were Herculean, very, very difficult tasks that he performed. And if you observe in this verse, everybody is named with their tasks. So Krishna is named as Hrishikesha. That means he's the master of senses. Okay. And also Govinda also means that same thing. Govinda means one who gives pleasures to the senses. So Krishna has got many names. Many, many names, out of which, 1 minute. Yeah, out of which the Krishna Nama, Krishna name is the Mukhya, chief name. That is described in the Vedic literature. But people say that God has no name. Yes, that is right. He has no particular fixed name. But his names are there according to his different activities. And that is what is mentioned here in the purport, that Devaki Nandana. Why is the Lord called Devaki Nandan? Anyone?
Because he chose Devaki as his mother.
Correct. Devaki as the mother. He gives pleasure to his mother Devaki. Then Yashoda Nandan, same. Nandanandan, Vrajendra Nandan. All this, based on his activities, he gets the name. Sometimes he's named as Partha Sarathi because he's acted as the chief chariot driver of Arjuna. Arjuna's name is Partha. And why his name is Partha? Because Kunti Maharani is called Pritha. So that's why his name became Partha. And from his father's name, he's got Pandu, and that's why he's called Pandava. So in this way, big personalities or anyone, their name should tally with their activities. That is why when we do the Namakarana when the child is born, is very important. That Namakarana is very important. They see the horoscope. They see what kind of activities he does. And accordingly, he'll be named. So it was all calculated astrologically. What kind of name he should be given. Because the name should carry some meaning of the activities of his life. So anytime if the person is taking a wrong step, his name should remind him that he should know that he is named like this because of the activities, good activities that is going to perform. So he should not deviate from there. Okay. And then see a particular name here, it is called what? Hrishikesha. So Krishna is named here as Hrishikesha. And in 15th chapter, in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Krishna says what? Sarvasya chaham hridisannivishto mattasmritar jnanam apohanam cha. He says that I'm seated in everyone's heart as what? Paramatma. Okay. So you see, I'm seated in Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto. I'm seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. Okay. Now, if anyone asks you, what are the different types of realization of the Supreme? What will you answer? What are the different types of realizations?
Brahman realization.
Wonderful, Mataji, got it. There are 3 types realization. Let me write it down here.
Brahman,
Yeah.
Paramatma, and then third one I don't remember.
That is right. It's called absolute truth. Okay, realization of absolute truth happens in 3 ways. One is what? As you said, Brahman. Brahman. Okay. What is the second one?
Paramatma.
Paramatma. Right. Then third one. What is the third one?
Like
Yes.
the third one is the best, the absolute truth, but I don't remember the exact name.
It's called Bhagavan.
Bhagavan.
Okay. There are 3 things. And where is it mentioned? It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.11. Vadanti tat tattvavidah tattvam yajnanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. So the learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance as Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. So it is the same object, Brahman. So Brahman realization is personal realization or impersonal realization?
Impersonal.
That is right, impersonal. Impersonal realization. Okay. Paramatma realization is personal or impersonal?
Localized. But
Exactly. That's localized realization. And Bhagavan, what realization is this?
Like the ultimate realization.
Yes, that is called personal realization. Personal, and which is ultimate. If you remember, I gave this example like in early 1900s or late 1800s. I think it was late 1800s. Yeah, it was or mid 1800s when the train was first introduced in India, and the train was coming to Howrah station in Calcutta. So it was then I think the capital of the British Empire at that time, and then they decided to have the railway line, and the first time the train is coming to the Howrah station. So everybody is anxious. So because they heard that using this train at once, at least how many 1,000 people can be transported? 1,000 people can be transported at the same time. So people wanted to understand how 1,000 people can be transported in one, and then not everybody can come. So from the nearby villages, they sent one representative. And then, do you remember that example? Anyone?
Yes, Prabhu, I remember that, kind of, not exactly. It's like the guy is going at the train station, and the train was really far. It is coming. I'm not sure if he first saw the light or first heard the sound, but it was only one thing he saw or heard, and then he went and he just said, "Oh, train," meaning it's only light or sound. And likewise, then the next guy goes, he sees both, and then the third guy goes, he sees the whole thing where you sit and go, and that's
Correct.
the ultimate.
Yeah. So similarly, so the 4 people go. The first person, when he says, he hears one big honk, sound, and then he immediately runs to the village and says, "No, train means it's only sound." So people were bewildered. How people will travel on the sound? And then the second person, when he says he sees there is a light, so immediately he goes and runs back and says, no, it is sound and it is light also. Then the third and fourth people still wait. The third person sees that it has become little, it was the twilight, and because of the tracks were bent and the train was going in the shape of a snake. So he went back and said, no, train means it is light, it has sound, it is a snake. Or it's such a huge snake that we will all sit and then we'll go. Again, it is a not complete understanding. Yeah, it is true to some extent, but it's not complete. Then the fourth person, when he stays and says, he sees that it is actually, there is an engine in the front, there's a person who is driving that, there is a lot of coal going into it as a fuel, then there are people, there are carriages behind, there are luggage compartments behind. So people get in and get out, all that. So that is Bhagavan. So basically for everything, there is a Paramatma is basically the snake. It is not a complete realization. Still, it's localized realization that the Lord is in everyone's heart. You can see the Lord everywhere. And then Prabhupada also gives this example of sun. There is a sun, there is a sun globe, and there is sunshine. They're all one. But the sunshine, the realization of sunshine is not the realization of the sun globe. Or the realization of sun globe is not the realization of sun god. Because sun god is the one, he is within the sun globe. And his name is what? Do you remember? What is the name of sun god? We all say Surya Bhagwan, Surya Narayan. But what is the name? What is his name? Exactly, that is Vivaswan. His name is Vivaswan. So the predominating deity in the sun planet, his name is Vivaswan. And what is his son's name? What is the sun god's son?
Hanuman?
Hanuman, no.
No,
Hanuman is son of
Vayu, right?
Kesari.
Vayu, yeah.
Vayu and Kesari, yeah. Anjana.
Oh, sun god is none other than Karna, right? Karna was...
Okay, that is in Mahabharata. But before that, Mahabharata is this, I'm talking about from the beginning, from when the sun god appeared. He has his son. He has got a son. What is his name? That name is none, the same name is there in one of the 5 participants in this list.
Manu.
Exactly, Manu. So Manu Prabhu, you should know your name is after the son of Suryadev. So his name is Vaivasvata Manu, Vivaswan. Vivaswan means the son of Vivaswan is called Vaivasvata Manu. Okay. So this is the age of Vaivasvata Manu, and every Manvantara there is one Manu. So I think in the past I described in detail. But when we talk about Bhagavatam, I will bring that again. So my point is that the sunshine, the sun globe, and the sun god, they're all one. But still, the sun globe is not the person. It is a sun god who is a person. Neither the sunshine is a person. But although they are all same, at the same time they are different. This is called Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. And that is the philosophy we all follow. This is the ultimate philosophy. So in the Vaishnava Sampradayas, Shankaracharya, he brought what Mayavada philosophy. After that, Ramanujacharya came. His philosophy is called what? What is the philosophy name of, what is the philosophy's name of Shankaracharya? Advaita. Okay, Advaita philosophy. Then Ramanujacharya says Vishishtha Advaita. Then Madhva says Dvaita. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought the ultimate, the final philosophy, which is called achintya bheda abheda tattva. That means at the same time you are one, and at the same time you're different. Inconceivably one and different simultaneously. And what is that? This is the example. The example is sun god, sun globe, and the sunshine. Can you say sunshine is independent? No. Without the sun god and sun globe, there is no sunshine. Can you say sun globe is all alone? No. Without sun god, there is no sun globe. Okay. So this Brahman realization here, Brahman realization is also called God realization, but it is partial. Okay. But what is a complete realization? That is Bhagavan realization. And what is that realization? Further, it says in Brahma Samhita, the first verse in Brahma Samhita. It says, Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha. See, Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha. That means Parama Ishvaraha, Parameshwara. So Krishna is Parameshwara. He is the supreme controller. Okay. He is Satchidananda Vigraha. Then what is here it is mentioned that Krishna is Vigraha. Vigraha means, see, that means there is a form. There is a personality. If someone asks you, Prabhuji, where is it mentioned in our Shastras that Krishna has got a personality? It is this verse. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha. Vigraha means person. So he's a person. And that is why, again, Bhagavan. Bhagavan means Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Shabdyate. As we just now read in the, what is this? Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Shabdyate. There are three features. The first realization is imperfect realization, impersonal. Then Paramatma. And ultimately, it is the Bhagavan realization. So when you say Hrishikesha, yes, Mataji.
So one thing I don't understand here is, like I'm trying to understand. So people who believe in a Brahman realization only, like I'm trying to understand, like what they believe, like what is God exactly?
Light. You know the Brahma Jyoti, have you heard?
Okay.
So they basically realize only that one. They say, oh, everything, there's a light. It is called Brahma Jyoti. From there, that only we all emanate and we all dissolve into it. That is correct. Okay? Because the Lord comes out of that Brahma. And where is the Brahma Jyoti? What is the source of Brahma Jyoti? Do you all know?
Effulgence coming from God, right?
Exactly. Effulgence coming from God and basically Vaikuntha planets. So the Brahma Jyoti is so effulgent, it is mentioned that Sahasra Koti Shatasambhrama Sevyamanam and Sahasra Koti Surya Prabha. That means the Lord is as effulgent as thousands and millions of suns together. You try to look at one sun. Can you look for long? No. Imagine there is a second sun. Along with the first sun, there is another sun. It will become even more brighter. You can't see. But if you bring thousands and millions of the Surya Dev together, that is the effulgence of the Lord. Okay, so that is the Brahman realization. Now, we are talking about Hrishikesha, right? So Hrishikesha realization is which one?
Rishikesha realization would be the Bhagavan realization.
Brahman, what is Hrishikesha?
the God, right? Controller of all the
Controller
senses.
of senses.
Controller of all senses. Correct. That is right. So, which one is Hrishikesha realization out of these three?
I think it's Bhagavan, but I'm
Parma.
not sure.
Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
Yeah.
I think it is Bhagavan realization, but I'm not
Bhagavan.
sure.
Okay. Yes, Niklesh Prabhu.
Yeah, it is Bhagwan realization where he controls us.
Bhagavan realization. Huh? Okay. Anyone else has any other answers?
Paramatma.
Exactly. It is Paramatma realization. Yeah.
But how, Prabhu?
It is, yeah, I'll tell you. So it is Paramatma realization. Okay. 1 minute. Let me show you that verse 1 minute. So let's see. This is one verse. This verse, you know, see, what is that? Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha. What is that? The supreme controller is Krishna. Right? Then one more verse, I got it. What is that verse here? What? Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto. Where am I seated? Krishna is saying, I am seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. And I'm seating, once I'm seated there, what am I doing? Controlling the senses based on your surrenderance. Now, this is one, another verse is this one. Ishvaraha sarvabhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati. Brahmayam sarvabhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. So it's very amazing verse, this one. Here again, Krishna is saying, Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. I'm seated. Tishtati means what? I'm seated. Where am I seated? Hrida. Hridaya means what? Heart. Hriddeshe, in the location of Hrida, I'm situated. Ishvaraha Sarvabhutana. And what am I doing there? Sitting there, I'm controlling everyone. So sitting in the heart, he is controlling everyone. What does this mean? It means what? Hrishikesha. Right? Do you get it?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So again, that control is again subject to our surrenderance. So supreme controller is Krishna. That is why it's called Ishvara Paramaha Krishna. He is controlling every one of us. We are controlled. See, we are also controllers in certain way. Why? Because we are part and parcels of Supreme Lord. Since Supreme Lord can control, obviously the same qualities we also have. So how do we control? We control our family, we control our society, our business, our factory, our job. If someone is trying to take away our job, we try to defend. There are different kinds of controller. So in that sense, everyone is an Ishvara, but we are all minute Ishvaras. But who is the supreme Ishvara? It is mentioned, Ishvara Sarvabhutanam. Do we control every living entity? We might control few living entities at our home. Maybe our children, maybe our spouses to some extent. But we cannot control everyone. But who is the one who is controlling everyone? Supreme Lord. Sarvabhutanam. So when you say supreme, Paramaha, here, you see Parameshwara, Paramaha. So when we say supreme, it means that nobody controls him, but he controls everyone. That is supremacy. Okay, but in us, we are the controller to some extent, but we are also controlled by somebody else. There are someone else superior to me. Always there is superior to me. Someone else is there. Therefore, we cannot be called as a supreme controller. The supreme controller is Krishna. One typhoon comes. Can we control a typhoon? But Krishna, when he was so young, few months old baby, when a typhoon came, do you remember what is the name of the typhoon Rakshas? Demon? Typhoon demon?
Trinavrata.
Correct. The name is Trinavrata. So when he came in the form of a typhoon to take out the Krishna, so Krishna held him. Actually, he held his neck, and that little Krishna became so heavy that the demon fell down from the sky on the earth and he died. So when Krishna was present on this planet, nobody could control Krishna, but he controlled everyone. So that's why great saintly persons, even Brahma, that's what the Brahma Samhita. Samhita means what? Is the one that is told by Brahma. Brahma Samhita. He says the first verse, Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna. The supreme controller is Krishna. Brahma is saying this. Because Krishna controls even Brahma. Why? See, again in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first chapter, the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, 1 minute. The first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, what does it say? Janmadyasya yato anvayaditaraschartheshvabhigyasvara tene brahma hrida. See this word. Tene brahma hrida ya adikavaye muhyanti yatsorayaha. Adikavaye. Tene means that Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That Vasudeva, what did he do? He instructed Brahma. How did he instruct Brahma? Hridaya Adikavaye. Through the heart. Through the heart, he imparted the knowledge. Okay, and Adikavaye means unto the original created being. That means the first being is who is Brahma, is the first being in the material world. He was the first creature within this universe. So how he could be instructed by somebody else? That means there is someone else before him. Somebody else is always there within the heart. So here also he is there in Brahma's heart. Who is there? Vasudeva is there. Krishna is there. So how Brahma got all the knowledge? If someone asks, oh, you're telling the Brahma is Supreme Lord. No, Brahma is not Supreme God. He himself is saying in Bhagavatam and in Brahma Samhita, what is saying? Ishvara Parama Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He is the Supreme Controller. And in Bhagavatam, 1 minute. So in Bhagavatam, what is he saying? Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye. In the heart of Brahma, that Vasudeva imparted the knowledge. So that is why Brahma, he got all the knowledge. So Hrishikesha, somebody is always there within the heart. Who is that? Hrishikesha. Hrishikesha means controller. And as I said, Sarvasya Chaham Hridisannivishto. I'm sitting in everyone's heart. And what am I doing there, sitting in everyone's heart? What am I doing there? What is that verse?
15.
Controlling them.
Yeah, Ishvaraha Sarva Bhutana. Ishvara means the Supreme Lord. I'm the controller. I'm controlling what? All the Bhutanam, all the living entities sitting in the heart. See, since he's sitting in the heart, he says one very important thing in the 15th point 15, the second, third, and fourth line. Very important. Mattaha smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedya vedantakrit veda videva chaham. The last two verses, basically it means that by all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of the Vedanta and I am the knower of the Vedas. Okay. But what is the second line? Mattaha, from me. What comes? Jnanam, knowledge comes. And forgetfulness also. Apohanam means forgetfulness. See. From me, both the remembrance and forgetfulness both arise. So Krishna is sitting in our hearts. He directs. He gives us the remembrance. He gives us the forgetfulness also. So Prabhupada says that atheist class, the demon class, they want to forget Krishna. So Krishna gives him such intelligence that he can speak of atheism in so many volumes. Why? Because again, Krishna is the best friend of everyone. Because Krishna is best friend, what is that? Suhridam sarva bhutana. Suhridam. What is that verse? It comes in 5.29. The 1 minute. See. Bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarva loka maheshwaram. Again, you see sarva loka maheshwaram. I am the controller of all the lokas. Suhridam sarva bhutana. I am the best friend of every living entity. So if a living entity wants to forget me, atheist class, the demon class, they want to forget Krishna. So Krishna gives him that intelligence by which he can speak so many atheistic volumes. And by that he's getting an intelligence in a way that he can forget Krishna. So Krishna gives everyone the chance. Whatever you want to do, you can do. I will give you intelligence. So if you want to become an atheist, then I will give you intelligence how to become a first-class atheist. Like Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Kamsa. And if you want to become a devotee, then I will give you the intelligence also in that way. So he says that. And where does he say? He says it in the 10.10 verse. Tesham satatam yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. See, buddhi yogam. If you want to become my devotee, I will give you the intelligence so that you can become my devotee. Anyone who is engaged in his service with love and affection, tesham, you see, what is the word? It says tesham, unto them. Does it say it is only for Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or the Panchajati, or somebody, untouchables and all those? No. Anyone who's constantly devoted and worshipping me with love, I give the understanding. I'll give them. So if someone says, okay, Prabhuji, what about if a person is in Amazon rainforest, very remote, if he has a desire that to search for that truth, will Krishna help? Yes, Krishna will definitely help. Because he has declared, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. I'll give them the intelligence so that they can come to me. And see, Tesham, right? Tesham means what? Unto them, right? Unto them. Unto whom? Does it mean everyone? It is not everyone. I mean, when I say all, means anyone who wants to come to Krishna, Krishna will help them. But not everyone wants to serve Krishna. Most of the people, they want to become God, imitation. They say, why Krishna shall be alone God? I also want to be God. Yes, as the Shastra says, yes, you are God. God in the sense controller. That's all right, but you're not the supreme God. You may be a God at your home, for your wife, for your children, for your dependents. But when you go to your office, you are not God. Your master is there. He is like God for you. He directs you to do something. You have to do it. So every one of us, we can say we are God. But nobody can claim that we are the supreme. I am the supreme God. No one can claim that. That is not possible. That is why Krishna can only claim it. And where is it that mentioned? Here, so many times. The entire Bhagavad Gita, he says, Maya, Mattaha, Mam. See, Mattaha Parataram Nanyat, Kinchidasti Dhananjaya, Mayi Sarvam Idam Protam, Sutre Manigana Iva. O conqueror of wealth, my dear Dhananjaya, there is no truth superior to me. That means, in other words, there is no superior personality than me. And he has proved it. God cannot be manufactured. The Supreme Lord is Supreme God. So that's why, as we discussed, when Krishna was 3 months old on the lap of his mother, Yashoda, he's still God. Not that he's a forgetful God, no. He was God, and he could kill Putana. So God is the Supreme Lord, is not that it can be manufactured by some called meditation or mystic power. You can get some of the insignificant powers of God by doing all those. That too after you perform. But Krishna, 3 months old, where did he perform all of those? He didn't perform any mystic meditation, yoga, nothing. And he simply sucked out the life of Putana. So that is a power. And when a person gets little power, he thinks that he has become God. But he does not know how much powerful God is. Okay, so I'll stop here. No, I'll continue about this tomorrow again. Any question? Any question? All right. There are no questions. Then I'll stop here. 1 minute. Am I?